This is Dan. He's a 70-year-old male that was diagnosed with Parkinson's earlier this year. A little bit on his past medical history. So he's got heart disease, diabetes. He's got chronic low back issues that have caused him difficulty with dorsiflexion. So on evaluation, he was using a four-wheel walker for ambulation, but still very unsafe, especially with turning and going to sit down about 100 feet before he would get fatigued. And I prefer to do standby assist at least, but occasionally he would require more assistance than that. So at the beginning with the 30-second sit to stand, he has to use his hands to do that. And I'm generous in giving him 3 complete stands with that at that time, because he was having a lot of issues with his balance and completing the full stand. I didn't do a pull test because he's not safe in static balance. That's actually where he's a little worse. He's a little better when he's moving. And I think that's due to the lack of dorsiflexion. He can't get his right foot to stay down. So he tends to do the retropulsion when that happens. So he started with a berg of 10 and then a tug of almost 30 seconds there. And go to the next slide, I think. Is it all on one side now? Okay, oh, there we go, thank you. So started treatment at the beginning of June. He had 6 sessions, was starting to make really good progress, and then was exposed to COVID. So luckily he did not get it, but he was not in the clinic due to precautions for a few weeks. So now we're up to 16 appointments. I'll give you some updates on his scores in a minute, but prior to coming in and prior to starting medication, he was falling at least weekly. Since starting therapy, I think he's only had 3 falls, and they were both right during the break and then like only after 1 session of the gap from the COVID stuff. Since then, he's had no falls over the last 2 to 3 weeks. And so today I actually was able to reassess him. And so he's actually, I checked today to see him do the tug with the poles and then with the 4-wheel walker, just because I was curious to see what would happen with that. And with the poles, he was 24 seconds, so still significantly less than the last time. And with the walker, 23 seconds. So clearly that's the device he uses all the time. So he's still improving with that. But most of my treatment based has been using the poles in the clinic versus the walker. So I think using those and getting his strength has been able to help him decrease his time with the walker. He also increased his berg to 16, and we were able to actually do some of the components of that I didn't even feel comfortable attempting the first time. And then he got to 7 repetitions on the sit to stand in 30 seconds, still with the use of his hands, but went from 3 to 7. So that's that. And we took some videos. Is the one with the walker first? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I had him in this first video show us how he normally walks when he's not thinking about what we talk about. So you'll see him way out in front with that. His feet are turned out more excessively. When he turns back around, he asked me if I want him to show him the right way, or show us the right way. And so you'll notice the correction that he makes when he starts coming back around. Here's all the music in the clinic. Sure, you can try. So that's where he starts correcting, and see how he's coming in more to the walker, narrowing his base of support and improve posture there. And still you'll notice when he goes to sit down, I'm not sure if it cuts off. Sure. That's okay. We can go to the next one. It wasn't as important, but you can see when he goes to stand up how he's pulling on the walker. And I let him do that because that's how he normally does it when he's not in the clinic, even though we've worked on other techniques to try. I wanted to show what he normally does. Okay. Now here's with the poles. And his sit to stand form is much better with them as well. You'll see he'll get a couple reciprocal, and then that left arm starts to drag a little bit because his arms get tired faster than his legs right now. So we've been working on some of the exercises that we'll show in a little bit. Um, but he still stays way more balanced and the posture is significantly better. And we've gotten to a point where I just stand by assist now versus actually holding onto the belt most of the time. And same concept with if he's not too tired. He was starting to get a little tired by this point because we did other stuff, but he gets the nose over toes way better with the poles as well and tends to have more of a control decline when he's sitting.
Mm. Wow, thanks, Carrie. That's really significant, his difference in his walking pattern and those results.
Yeah, it's been a big, since I just reassessed today, it was nice to see those big changes because when I assessed him when he got back from the gap in treatment, not much had changed at all from the first. I think he went up to 4 on the sit to stands and the tug didn't change at all. So it was good to see since we've incorporated the poles more. That's the biggest change that we've done is walking with those most of the treatment session. And that's a big jump in the last couple of weeks.
If people have any, I'm seeing if people have any questions specific to this case study, you can put that in the chat button. So Danny, maybe just let us know if people have any specific questions for Carrie, or otherwise we can go back to it at the end as well.
Nothing yet.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Carrie, for showing that. That was really interesting and gives a great example of working with someone who's quite low functioning.
Yeah, he was actually someone for those at the power gym that couldn't qualify for any of the stuff at the power gym yet. And that's why they had referred him to me to try to get him to the point where hopefully he can be able to participate in some of the classes and stuff there when we're done. The unfortunate thing is he's got an insurance that's limited in visits and stuff, which is the other issue on why we haven't been able to do more. I would love to do an increased frequency with him. We started with just twice a week prior to the COVID issue. And then I was able to talk with the case manager of the insurance afterwards. And she was able to just give me a time frame where I could use whatever visits I wanted. So we were able to increase to 3 times a week at least to
excellent.
that to help.
Oh, great work on that.